I'm going to share the video around. Give me a couple of minutes before we start. Read the title of the title of the video, and you'll know what we're talking about. Call starts at 2 p.m. in about 8 minutes. Give me 1 minute. So, we're going to be on a call with Andre Berto and Shawn Porter sometime in the next 10 minutes. And you know they're fighting next Saturday. It's a very stacked card. I'm going to be there. What is that? Something flying around? You see that? What was that? I'm going to be there next Saturday, April the 22nd. It's going to be on Showtime. Where's everyone? Everyone is on their way. I'm sharing the video around now. So it's not really a fight that people are really talking about, I guess. You know, people don't seem to be really interested in it. The good thing about it is the winner is the mandatory for Keith Thurman. But we're hearing that Thurman is going to be taking on Danny Garcia again in the rematch. Let me get some questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something interactive. Since I really put it this way, there's always questions to ask. But I want you guys questions. You know, I want you to give me some questions to answer, to ask either Berto or Shawn Porter. Let me see. Let me make sure who's going to be on the call. Let me check real quick. Because I think Virgil Hunter's going to be on the call too. Now, of course, you can't ask questions that don't have anything to do with the fight. So I'm sure you want to ask Virgil Hunter about, you know, Ward. So let's see who's going to be on the call first before we start. The call is going to start in about 10 minutes. Okay, so you're going to have on the call Andre Berto, Shawn Porter, Lou DiBella, and Steven Espinoza. Steven Espinoza is the head of Showtime. Andre Berto versus Shawn Porter is for the WBC welterweight world title eliminator. 12-round Showtime boxing presented by Premier Boxing Champions, April 22nd from the Barclays Center. The co-main event will be Jermell Charlo versus Charles Hatley. So like I said, the call is going to start in about 10 minutes or less. So let me share around the video, and you guys can come up with some questions that you may want me to ask. It's been a long day. As you can see, I've been putting out a nice, solid amount of videos. Also, I got to get off as soon as this call is over. I want to check out the Andre Ward Kovalev last press conference, the one that's in LA today. You know, and I got to get that stuff up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try to get some questions in with Berto versus Porter, and we're going to go from there. So let me share this video around. Give me 1 minute. In the meantime, listen to this elevator music. What's up with that? What is up with that? Let's mute that. All right, so we're on the call with Berto versus Porter. They're going to be starting soon. I'm going to be at the fight. I really don't know. I really don't know what I really don't know what I want to ask. Not yet. So we're going to go over some questions. On the call will be Andre Berto, of course, Shawn Porter, Lou DiBella, and Steven Espinoza. I don't think any of the trainers are going to be on the phone call. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Okay, so let me read some of the comments. Who has the edge in this fight, T? Well, who has the edge in this fight? You have to look at it like this. Berto's been known to have problems with pressure fighters. You know, Robert Guerrero, Jesus Soto Carras, even going back to Luis Collazo. You know, so oh, what's up, Patricia? Let me see. So, like I said, we're going to do this call, and then after this, I want to check out that last press tour, that press conference from Berto and not Berto, Ward and Kovalev. That's over in LA. I believe that starts right after this call. Then I got to upload that. I got a bunch of other videos I got to upload. So as you can see, we've been real active. It's only Wednesday, and we got about 30 videos or so up. You know what I noticed about being on many Andre Berto media calls? He always sound all nasally and congested. You know, he needs some Mucinex. Thurman will have to wrestle Porter again. Poor dude. Yeah. Let me see what the rest of you. I mean, I'm looking forward to the card. I'm gonna go out. I'm not gonna kill myself like I did. I'm not gonna kill myself like I did with Thurman versus Garcia and didn't end up going to the fight. Because at this fight, you know, Danny Jacobs is going to be there. Adrian Broner is going to be there. The Charlos are going to be there. Who else? There's going to be a lot of fighters there, you know, a lot of good interview opportunities. So I'm going to go out for the press conference, the final press conference, and then I'm going to go to the fight. I'm not going to nothing else, you know, to make sure like I'm healthy enough to cover the fight. You know, so I've been in New York basically about once a week, you know, for the last several weeks now, covering events. So it's 2 p.m. The call is going to be starting soon. They don't normally start on time, so it's going to start like 2:05 or 2:10 or some shit like that. When is Jamel's 165-pound fight scheduled? It's not yet. He's been ordered by the WBC to fight Jorge Sebastian Hyland, and the winner of that will be the WBC mandatory for Golovkin. I just keep doing this to make the click, make sure they start. See if they start. Start, yeah. Here's the way Golovkin's mandatories work. Now, let's say if he doesn't fight Billy Joe and he doesn't fight Canelo, the first in line is Turiano Johnson. The second in line will be likely, depending. It could be. Okay, well, here's the thing. You have Murata and Hassan Endam who are fighting for that WBA. That's a long, stupid story. You know, the next mandatory should be, or supposed to be, Jermell Charlo and Hyland. So basically, the mandatories go like this. It's supposed to go like this: IBF, WBC, then WBA. So first, Turiano Johnson gets his shot. You know, then the winner of Jamal Charlo, and Charles Hatley. Not Charles Hatley, Jorge Sebastian Hyland. Jamal is WBC. No, Jamal is WBC. Jamal is the one who moved up. So like I said, I'm interested in Berto versus Porter, but I'm not like hype, I guess. You know, I'm hype about the event, you know, but not about the fight. And also, there's going to be some good people there, like some good, interview opportunities there. I got to shave. It's just getting out of control. Why are they doing this? And then today, I'm finally really going to do that Andre Ward video, Andre Ward Kovalev video, because I got to talk about all the controversy of this week. I didn't do it yesterday; I was too tired, and I didn't do it this morning. I decided to do other videos because I want to do an hour-long or 2-hour-long video on it. More emails. God damn it. Alexander versus who? There's so many fights that I'm just going to cover all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, or if I haven't said, this video is going to be standalone, and then later on, I'm going to actually upload the full high-quality audio from the media call, so you'll be able to listen to it and not listen to me talking in the background. Berto's legs are gone, stiff as a board. Porter's going to run him into the ground. I don't think Berto was forced into this fight, but at the same time, looking at the fact that he fought Floyd Mayweather, then he fought Victor Ortiz. Oh, here we are. I hope you can hear.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the final phone call for the Andre Berto versus Shawn Porter WBC welterweight world title eliminator that will take place on SHOWTIME Championship Boxing, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. It'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, on Saturday, April 22nd, 2017, a week from this Saturday. Tickets for the live event start at $50, and they're on sale now. They can be purchased by visiting Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. This is a great matchup of incredible significance and the divisions that's the hottest in all boxing. Berto and Porter represent two of the best at this weight class. The winner will be the mandatory for Keith Thurman. Obviously, this fight sets up a huge fight in the future. And I'm very pleased to bring to you to say a few words. The man who put this fight together, who's been responsible for a tremendous amount of sensational boxing programming on SHOWTIME, as well as SHOWTIME Boxing on CBS, over many months now. And it's been a string of great boxing for SHOWTIME, and it's my pleasure to introduce Stephen Espinosa.
Thanks, Lou. We're thrilled to be back at Barclays Center and thrilled to be working with Sabella once again. At SHOWTIME, our spring schedule is starting to take shape. This April 22nd event is the start of a very aggressive lineup of fights over an 8-week span. More to come on that in the very near future. In terms of our televised fights, we've got really 4 compelling matchups, provide a little bit of everything, really interest for all sorts of fans. We have Luis Ortiz taking on the very tough, durable Derek Rossi. This will be Luis's SHOWTIME debut. And really another fight in the SHOWTIME's commitment to the heavyweight division. We've seen Anthony Joshua progress. We've seen Deontay Wilder progress. We've seen young guys like Jarrell Miller progress all on SHOWTIME. And we're thrilled to add Luis Ortiz into that mix and look forward to seeing him in big fights in the future. Of course, without assuming any particular result on the fight, he's got a very tough guy to get through with Derek. We'll also have Amanda Serrano on again, our third women's bout to air live on SHOWTIME in the last 9 months. And potentially a record for female boxers, a record for boxers of Puerto Rican descent, as she goes for a potential world title in the 5th weight class. Moving to the SHOWTIME part of the card, Charlo versus Hatley really continues another progression. The super welterweight division, a division that really is we've been focusing on for a couple of years. Jamal Charlo, Julian Williams, Austin Trout, Corazon Ilan, Vanis, Demetrius Andrade. Really, Showtime's been delivering the most significant fights in this division since really early 2016. And of course, the main event is really part of a series of ongoing welterweight fights that will determine, possibly by the end of the year, maybe early next year, who is the top dog, so to speak, in boxing's glamour division. We've had a series of phenomenal welterweight fights, including Shawn's fight last summer on CBS. Both Andre Berto and Shawn Porter really gained national exposure early in their careers on Showtime via ShowBox. No surprise there. Andre was on ShowBox in 2006, Shawn Porter in 2009, and they have progressed into very significant stages of their career on Showtime. Andre 4 times on Showtime, Shawn 5 times on Showtime, and once on CBS. These are 2 guys that all of you media members know. They're likable, charismatic, articulate guys. They're guys who respect the sport and represent the sport well. Perhaps more importantly, they're all action fighters. And there's no way that this fight is going to disappoint. So top to bottom, a lot to offer on this April 22nd card, and we're looking forward to it very much.
Well, thank you, Stephen, and we look forward to those big announcements that will be coming out of Showtime shortly. We wanted to give the writers, everybody, a chance to talk to Andre and to Shawn. With fight week less than a week away, the holiday weekend's coming up, but we wanted to give people an opportunity to speak to Berto and to Porter and to get a sense of where they are in training, how they're viewing this matchup, where things stand for them right now. And my pleasure to introduce first from Winter Haven, Florida, with a record of 31-4 with 24 KOs, Andre Berto. Berto. Hello, Andre. Andre there, guys?
No, this is Kristen. He might have dropped off. You just want to introduce Shawn, and we'll try to get him back on the line.
All right, that's fine. So we're going to get right to Showtime. Shawn Porter, 26-2-1, 16 KOs out of Las Vegas right now. Former IBF world champion. Everyone knows he's trained by his dad, Ken, and was a tremendous amateur. Has been a tremendous pro, and I know he's ready for this important matchup on April 22nd. Shawn.
What's up, everybody? We're at another part of camp now, winding down, and we're still working hard, and everything is coming together for everyone. So at this point, the excitement is building up, and I can't wait to get out to the Brooklyn and see everybody and be a part of seeing what's going on with this fight.
Have you done anything special to prepare for Berto? Anything different in terms of sparring partners or anything? And you're usually
I personally think going 15 rounds up on Charleston at 500 feet yesterday, I think that's pretty special. We sparred 10 rounds with 2 different guys, and then we pushed ourselves a few more rounds in the ring and on some sprints on the road as well. So we're working hard. We swim every camp, track work every camp. We have an oxygen chamber at our training facility for our performance center. So everything we're doing is, just always try to do it bigger and better each fight.
That's great. Is Andre joined us? Berto, you on?
Yeah. I just kept.
The mic is yours, bro.
Huh?
I said the mic is yours. Tell us a little bit about training camp and how you feel about the fight as fight week's less than a week away.
I'm going to say that that's a good training camp. I guess we spent every day like this camp. Great stars, tremendous stars. I can't say enough, about how this camp went. I'm in great shape, focused. We pushed myself good, man. You know, just with everything around the board, you know, I've just been hitting on all cylinders. So, you know, we're excited. We're ready to get it.
Great. We'll open it up to the press now for questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star one. Waiting for forward feature. Our first question comes from Dan Garcia. Dan.
Hello, guys. My first question is for Andre. Andre, you there?
Yeah.
My question for you is this. I was just taking a quick look at your record over the last few years. I mean, there's been some activity, obviously, but you've fought a lot of good fighters, have not always beaten those fighters, even though you've been in several very significant fights. And do you think that a victory against Shawn would represent maybe the best win of your career?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, you know, right now, you know, within that little span of me, you know, going through a little downhill of my career, like I said, I was going through a lot of things, going through a lot of, you know, physical things, and you know, we're now just coming back, you know, from that, and we just, you know, just coming in just a lot more healthy and a lot more strong, a lot more focused. You know, everything just starting to show like it needs to be. And I believe that, of course, like you said, you know, this fight right here definitely probably, you know, one of the, you know, biggest wins of my career for sure. So.
Before this fight, what would you, if you look back on your record, what would, and I understand, of course, from the emotional point of view, winning world titles is a big deal when you beat the guys you won the titles against with Zavik, and I believe it was like, I don't remember, Ricky Rodriguez years ago. But what, in your opinion, is the biggest win of your career? Or the best win you beat of your career?
Right now, just, I mean, you know, name-wise, I'm not sure. I mean, I fought a lot of, you know, great guys coming up. You know, like I said, I fought Steve Forbes, I fought the you know, David Shadows, and, you know, all those guys that were, you know, big names at their time. You know, but right now, just the most satisfying one for me right now, probably my last one was just because, you know, so much, you know, emotion that went into that fight, so much, you know, so much of a storyline that went into that fight and how much it meant to me. You know, just emotionally all around the board, I think it's probably the most satisfying win right now at this point. I mean, like I said, you know, I felt that, you know, Carlos Quintana's, you know, Stevie Forbes, you know, all these guys that were very great fighters at their time, they were at the top of the league at their time. But I think that was, you know, I was young then, and I was, you know, I mean, that was my most satisfying.
Do you think a win against Shawn would be, would surpass that as the most satisfying? Because you're a little older, you've been off a while. It's going to put you back in position to fight for another world title if you win.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Like I said, man, he's had a lot connected to it. You know, but this fight here is a big fight as well. I mean, just every fight right now at this point, you know, in my career is a big fight and a very big, you know, defining fight. So I'm just taking each of them, and one step at a time, and just prepare like I need to, just ready shape, and just you know, just get through it one at a time.
I got that. Thank you for that, Andre. I have a question also for Shawn. Hey, Shawn.
What's up, Dan?
Hey, my question for you, Shawn, is this. You had a terrific fight against Thurman in the last fight. Obviously, you didn't get the victory. So when the fight with Andre came up, were you surprised that coming off of a loss, regardless of how close it was, that you were able to get a fight that would be a title eliminator to be in a position right back in a world title fight? Or did you think maybe it might take 2 fights maybe to get back in the position, or even longer perhaps?
You know what? Honestly, that's kind of the business side that I don't really, you know, think about as much. You know, I didn't think about how many fights it would take for me to get back to a championship fight. After that fight with Keith Thurman, it's just about, for me and my team, going back to the drawing board, figuring out what fights we can take to position ourselves, him or get another title. And that was it. That was how this fight with Andre Berto came to be. This was the guy that I was told would be the one to position me to get back to a world championship fight. And then boom, we're at the press conference announcing the fight, and they told us that it's for an eliminator. And I mean, I couldn't have been more surprised. I don't think there's anything in my life that I've ever been more pleased with a surprise other than that. You know, when the Bella came up and said that it would be for a title eliminator for the WBC title, I mean, my heart just it glowed. You know what I mean? With happiness. You know, so I'm looking forward to this fight. I've been looking forward to this moment for a long time, and
you had agreed to the fight before you knew it was the eliminator. Is the point? I remember we were sitting at the press conference. Like, you really didn't know how DeBella said that.
We agreed to the fight with the understanding that, you know, this will lead to something better. But again, me personally, I didn't know how long it would be.
Okay.
And then the man comes on the stage and says it's for an eliminator, and I'm like, wow.
One other question for you, Shawn. You've been in 2 world title fights that you lost, both competitive decisions to Brooke and to Thurman. If you could wave the magic wand, I know you got to fight Andre next week, but if you could wave the magic wand, which guy of Thurman and Brooke would you rather have a rematch against, and why?
Thurman, I think he's the better fighter, and I think, you know, being able to beat him, I think would be, you know, something on my resume and my legacy that will be remembered for a very long time. He's a very good fighter, a very good defender of his belt, and I'm looking forward to fighting him in a rematch.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate your time, both of you. Good luck next week.
Our next question comes from Mitch Davidson. Mitch, please go ahead.
Hey everybody. Hey Shawn, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Mitch?
Hey, very good. Shawn, I saw some comments you made recently discussing Berto's fight against Mayweather and how you seem to suggest that you're going to follow Floyd's blueprint for his boxing Berto and staying on the outside, and you seem to kind of say that you're going to follow the same strategy. Is that true?
Well, watching the fight, I definitely admired, you know, in any fight that Floyd Mayweather and his boxing ability. I thought that was something that was very, very effective against Andre Berto. So we'll definitely pick our spots where we want to box, where we want to use the ring. But at any rate, through the entire fight, we will control the action as well as the ring.
Yeah, you're a guy that's known for, you know, being very aggressive and throwing a lot of shots. And, you know, maybe your boxing ability doesn't get as much credit. I mean, do you plan on showcasing more of your boxing ability in this fight against Berto?
Well, it depends on the fight. You know, like you just said, my boxing ability may be a little underrated, unseen. It depends on how many ringers. You may get more of boxing, you may get more of the pressure and the aggression. So, and then with saying that, you know, any fight at any time it can change. You know, so we'll do this fight accordingly. We'll take a look at what's going on. We'll make our adjustments during the fight in the corner as well, and we'll see. You might see more boxing. You might see more pressure. We'll see how it plays out.
You mentioned before that you felt that Keith Thurman was a better fighter than you felt Brooke. I mean, can you explain why you feel that way?
I just think overall, you know, boxing ability, ring IQ, you know, speed, quickness, power, all of it. My personal opinion, you know, it could be a biased opinion, but I do feel like Keith Thurman is a better boxer / fighter than Brooke.
And Andre, I have a question for you. Just what do you think about Shawn, you know, saying that he might use Floyd Mayweather's template against you in your fight? I mean, what's your reaction to doing that?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, like I said, it's his business. That's his, you know, I mean, that's his game plan. However he wants it, you know, whichever way, you know, he wants to, you know, maneuver, you know, whatever the situation is. I mean, that's all right. You know, right now, you know, us, you know, we're preparing for, you know, for every look. We're preparing for every look. you know, we need to prepare for boxing, if it's brawling, if it's you know, any kind of crowd, you know, whatever the situation is. You know, right now, you know, we just go out there and focus on what we need to do. You know, we don't really, you know, we're not really, you know, focused on what, on the way we try to do us, we're trying to, you know, make sure that we're going to be all right. And we're going to be focused, we're going to be, you know, down in on every angle, you know, whatever, you know, way the fight is going to go.
And Shawn is more of a brawler. Do you think he has boxing ability?
You know, yeah, and they say, you know, I mean, I see, you know, like I said, you know, you know, Shawn, he showed the past, he can brawl, you know, he can press the guys out, you know, brawl. He may try to, you know, use something in this fighting. I'm not sure. You know, right now, I'm just going for what I got to do. Like I said, you know, we're in slim shape, we're focused, you know, all around the board. You know, we can box, we can bang, we can do it performance as well. So, you know, it you know, it doesn't matter, you know, what it is. You know, we'll see what it is, we can get started.
Okay, thanks, Albert. One question for Stephen Esther. Stephen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Stephen. So, Louis Ortiz's fight and Amanda's fight, they're going to be on Showtime Extreme?
Yes, Showtime Extreme will be, we're in a slightly different time, 7:30 p.m. on Extreme, and then the doubleheader on Showtime at 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Stephen.
Okay.
Our next question comes from Lynn. Lynn, please go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing?
First question is going to be for Shawn. How you doing, Shawn? What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, great man, good talking to you. Listen, you dictated a really aggressive pace against Keith Thurman. It's been, you know, 10 months since that fight. But do you think that, you know, looking at what you did and with your skills compared to kind of how like Guerrero did against Andre, that your style will be more, you know, favorable to you? I mean, I know you talked about boxing just now, but, you know, what do you think, your thoughts on that? Do you think you could handle that pace?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, that's my mindset, my team's mindset. Every time we get in the ring, is that our opponent won't be able to keep up with the pace that I perform at. And I do everything that I can leading up to the fight to make the fight like that. I never go into the ring with the thought that, you know, I'm going to throw 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 punches around. It's just kind of how the fight flows and how it goes, you know. So, yes, I'm always prepared to fight at a faster pace. I think at a faster rate than most of the guys that box. So yeah, I think that is going to be an advantage for myself. Getting in the ring with Andre Berto, I think that I'll be able to dictate the pace and push his heart and make him work hard. And you know, like I said, like you said, the skills as well as the power. This should be a very good fight. This is why this fight is very anticipated, because you know what I can do and you know what Andre can do. But I think I've shown out there that there's nothing that you can doubt when I'm getting in the ring. Now I'm going to perform the way I always perform, and you know, the fight will take care of itself.
Besides Mayweather, do you think you're the most superior opponent that he's faced, and if so, why?
Yeah, I would say I am. He's fought some very good boxers, some punchers, some guys that were aggressive, some counter punchers. He fought them all. I think, you know, the thing that separates me from those guys is that I can do all of it. You know, very rarely do you have that in another fighter that can, you know.
Yeah.
Ring, all of that, you know. So I have it all.
Andre, you there? What are your thoughts on what Shawn brings to the ring? And do you agree that with him, that, you know, maybe besides Mayweather, most difficult opponent? And if so, what skills, what challenges does he bring? I know you can brawl, I know you can box, you've done all that. What challenges does Shawn bring to the ring, and do you think, agree with him that he's your most difficult opponent besides, say, Mayweather?
Like I said, I won't know until I can't really say that until I get in there with him. Like I said, I've been there with a lot of guys. I've been there with a lot of different, type guys from my first, 12, 13 fights. I've been in there with, a few world champions. So, I mean, we'll have to go in there and see. Mayweather, like I said, bring up Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather's Mayweather. He's gonna go in there, move around, box. He's gonna play, real slippery. He doesn't think, offense is first. He thinks defense is, always. And I believe that he is, definitely one of a kind in the sport, and he's definitely, showed it throughout the years. But when it comes to Shawn, he does a lot of things wrong and he does a lot of things right. So I can't say that he's going to be, besides me with my different, almost different like that. I'm going to say, like, he's definitely a great fighter. But like I said, we're ready and we're equipped, and I've been there with great fighters before. So, so we'll have to see what it looks like.
My last question for you, Andre, is that there was a point in your career where you had back-to-back stoppages of Carlos Quintana, who was split with Paul Williams. You had knocked out Freddie Hernandez in the first round, later went the distance with Lara and Andrade. Do you feel that at that time you were getting credit, and do you think that you have ever really gotten credit for being, a better fighter?
Man, those boxing games, those fight games, it's you're as good as your the last performance. Just as they can raise you up high as being the next great thing. Going through the defeat or going, through some, tough times. I mean, they'll light you up. They'll light you up quick in this game, man. And that's just how the game goes, man. I can't sit there and be upset at it. Just coming into it, I knew, what I was getting into, and just with all of the buzz surrounding me, coming into a full game, and just me going in there beating all these, ex-world champions, and being world champion myself. I mean, I can give myself accolades, but like I said, man, in time, if things don't go your way, wow, it's supposed to be. They'll definitely discredit you, but you have to just see it. You have to see it for what it's worth, man. And at the end of the day, just know who you are. At the end of the day, and you can't let this fight game, ultimately, just define you. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It won't give you the credit that you feel that you deserve at the end of the day. And I believe that's what any and every fighter, them going through, everything, them retiring. I don't know too many, fighters that have retired feel satisfied. They're satisfied with the fight game, they're satisfied with the notoriety they've gotten from the writers, from the critics, from the fans. I don't know too many at all. But it is what it is. Just gotta go in there and do what you gotta do. I just know who you are, and just go in there and make yourself happy.
Hi, next question comes from Keith Thurman. Keith, please go ahead.
Yes, my first question is for Andre. Andre, just piggybacking on what you said earlier, do you feel that you've been written off going into this fight?
Man, look, from my first fight, from my first loss, moving forward, I've been written off. Just like I said, going to, that's just where the fight game is. It's just where the fight game is. From my first loss on, it's been, speculation, it's been this, it's been that. And I went through my hard time. And everything that I've been through in this fight game has been in front of that TV screen. That's what they need to understand. Everything. I got a chance to fight on one of the, one of the biggest networks around that, I don't know, 11, 12 fights. With Lou DiBella, on HBO. And just everything that I've done has been in the eyes of the public. My rise, my fall going through my defeats, and me coming back from shoulder surgery and coming back, trying to, continue to make a statement and let people know I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So, I love it because I love that roller coaster ride. I've never seen my career, coming into this game as being perfect. Never. I always wanted to feel everything that this game had to offer. Just like, Muhammad Ali said a long time ago, he was able to feel everything this game had to offer. He got knocked down. He was, he got stopped. He wasn't tired of it. He was the best live. He was this and that. He had to experience it all. And at the end of the day, when I'm done, I'll be able to read my story and see that I've definitely, felt and experienced everything this game had all.
In this fight in particular, Andre, he's the younger fighter, and he's a pretty big favorite in the fight. How much motivation has that given you in this camp?
Man,
It don't work like that, Devin.
Motivation. With me, like I said, with me just coming back from everything that I've come back from. From that point on, just coming back from the shoulder surgery moving forward. Everybody, they've been able to see a whole different type of determination and motivation in you. And they've been seeing that in these fights as well. So, so it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. They can think of it another type of way, but everybody right now.
Matchroom don't do media calls.
Like they're in the way right now for what I want. That's it. That's the only thing about it.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Another question for Shawn. Shawn, how difficult has it been for you? And I know there have been reasons, injuries and delays in the fights and everything, but how difficult has it been for you to not be more active since the Blum fight?
That's a tough one to call. I think more than anything, it's just been a little tougher mentally, excessively. But outside of that, we still work hard, and my name is Showtime Police. I'm a Showtime fighter, so I'm never worried, about any amount of time that I've been out of the ring in the actual fight, because we have tons of those before the actual match. So I'm just excited about this fight coming, and I'm looking forward to getting it with them.
Do you think, maybe for your next fight, if you're able to beat Andre, do you feel like a Thurman rematch, because especially this is a elimination match for his title, that is a realistic opportunity for you in your next fight?
I'm hoping so. I know that he has two different belts, and he'll have two different mandatories. So I understand all that, but I'm looking forward to getting back in the ring with Keith Thurman in a rematch as soon as we can after this fight with Andre.
I'm on a call, bro. Stop asking questions. No disrespect.
Thanks, Shawn.
You changed your profile. What profile?
Question comes from Eddie Goldman. Eddie, please go ahead.
What
Thank
profile are you
you
talking
very
about?
much. Hello, everybody. First question for Andre. Andre, you're going into this fight with roughly a 1-year layoff since your last fight with the second fight with Ortiz. Can you tell us about that layoff and how you think it might affect your performance in this fight?
The layoff is the layoff. That's something you got to ask, managers on that. But you know, for anybody that follows me, they know I've been staying busy anyway. You know, within this year, I've been staying working out. I've been staying in shape. You know, so and we've had a nice lengthy camp. Make sure to knock off all the rust. We're sharp, man. We're sharp, and we're ready to go. You know, I don't think we're gonna play too much of a big part in this as well.
You mentioned the issue of ring rust. I know you were talking earlier how this fight's going to start, how it's going to proceed, whether it's going to, you know, be a lot of slugging or whether it could be very more tactical and defensive. But watching both you two fight in the last several fights, a lot of people are expecting a lot of fireworks in the first several rounds. So how does that affect you being off for that period of time? And as soon as the bell rings, it may get very heated very quickly.
I mean, it's not going to affect me too much at all. You know, everybody knows me. You know, when it comes to me, but I've been scrapping that way my whole career. And first, like I said, we have a tremendous squad. We have a tremendous squad against them. You know, everybody's, you know, supporting everybody trying to push me to a whole nother level. And I'm putting, like I'm out here putting real money on my own head to make sure these guys come, you know, for the first round on to try and see if they can knock me out. You know, so so all the squad has been top notch. It's definitely been highly competitive. So you know, like I said, you know, we're gonna be ready to go.
And do you think you've changed very much or planning to change, you know, because it's kind of odd to say this, you're the older, more veteran fighter in this, but are there going to be changes in your approach?
Yeah, it's crazy to say. I'm an old vet now.
He'll be 34 in September.
But yeah, man, just down here working with Verge. You know, definitely, you know, just my boxing IQ has changed, you know, so much, you know, when it comes to, I mean, just everything in general, you know, doing things because, you know, I was doing things for a reason, you know, not just out there throwing punches because we can, not just always just being fast because we can, being slow because we can, and everything is for a purpose, and we just been fine tuning and everything, and you know, everything's falling in place pretty amazing.
And Shawn, you're coming off of the layoff of about 10 months, and then before that, a year. Do you think there are going to be any ring rust problems, or how are you going to deal with that?
No ring rust at all, man. I'm just looking forward to the fight. I know it's been a while since you guys seen me, but I'm always working, and my team is always on me, making sure I'm in shape, getting in shape, staying in shape. And I'm controlling my weight, my eating, all that kind of stuff. So right now, there's no problem for Shawn Porter.
Thank you, Eddie. And thank you, Andre and Shawn. And I wish you both and your families a happy Easter. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. You know, one more time, I just want to reiterate, Steven did mention the timing change, that the Showtime Extreme telecast on April 22nd will begin at 7:30 p.m. The Showtime telecast will begin at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Showtime Championship Boxing, the welterweight world title eliminator between Berto and Porter, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, April 22nd, week from Saturday. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. And we hope to see everybody there. And if we don't, please tune in on Showtime. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your call. You may all disconnect at this time.
That was a short call. I'm surprised I didn't get a question. And normally on those type of calls, they normally limit you to one question for each fighter. But I noticed that people got multiple questions in. I'm not really concerned about it. But basically, my question was, you have Shawn Porter saying that he's going to try to outbox Berto or box Berto, which makes no sense to me when Berto, who is 4-4 in his last 8 fights, right? Berto was 4-4 in his last 8 fights. Of course, he lost to Floyd Mayweather, Jesus Soto Karass, Robert Guerrero, and Victor Ortiz. So my question was going to be, what is the logic behind trying to box a guy who has clearly had issues with pressure fighters? So the fight that Shawn Porter fought against Keith Thurman, you would think that same Shawn Porter would beat Andre Berto, correct? I think so. So that was going to be my question. Also, I wanted to know, from Andre Berto about the layoff. But somebody asked that question. He said it's up to the managers and promoters. Remember, this fight is taking place on the 22nd of April. He fought Victor Ortiz April the 16th of last year. You see what I'm saying? So I did want to ask some, but I'm going to be there next week. The card is looking pretty good with Luis Ortiz on it. With he's on the Showtime Extreme card. I interviewed him. What was that, 2 weeks ago? You have Jermell Charlo versus Charles Hatley, and you have Berto versus Porter. And then you're going to have so many boxing stars there. Like Danny Garcia is likely going to be there. Keith Thurman surely going to be there. Danny Jacobs is going to be there. Peter Quillen is going to be there. So those were the questions. This is a fight like where a lot of people are going to be watching it, but nobody's really like hype about it. You feel me? Nobody's really like, oh, that Berto versus Porter is next week. But however, knowing Berto was always in good fights. Remember, at one point in time, before Josecito Lopez got knocked out, Lopez was up on 2 of 3 of the judges' scorecards. Josecito Lopez was beating Andre Berto. Andre Berto even got knocked down by Victor Ortiz before stopping him. So, like I said, my question would be to Shawn Porter is, what is the logic to say you're going to try to outbox him when if there's anybody you should try to bully and pressure, it should be Andre Berto, correct? But Andre Berto is also a very good boxer. Like, he has a very good jab and he has very good boxing ability. So if he tries to box him, he'll likely lose, or he could lose. But only time will tell, man. Only time will tell. I'm not, I wasn't, like I said, when it comes to these media calls, understand that we're going to be doing this a lot more in the future. For every media call, I just put it this way. I made some major moves over the last couple of days, between yesterday and today, to whereas in we're finally, evolving. I made some moves to be able to get all this shit taken down. You feel me? I got a whole bunch of new equipment coming. Everything is really, really, really going, like to plan. So we're going to be doing a lot more of these media calls. And as I told you, how the media calls work is there's like a structure to them. There's not media calls for every fight. Every promoter doesn't do media calls. Golden Boy does media calls, Top Rank does media calls, and PBC, anybody on Premier Boxing Champions does media calls. Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, they don't do media calls. Box Nation, they don't do media calls, So it's something where people think that when you're on a media call, you can just blurt and ask questions. There's a queue. For example, when the call first starts, they say, do you want to ask a question? You click *1. But then it's not like it's in a set order. There's there's people, coordinating these calls and are putting the main media organizations up first in the calls. For example, ESPN always goes first. You see what I'm saying? ESPN always goes first. Then they go with like CBS Sports. Then they go with Yahoo. Then they go with Boxing Scene, et cetera, et cetera. You should get your questions in this time. I should put it this way. Put it this way. I've been on many media calls where I've had questions. So I've noticed the ones over the last couple of days, they've been short, but also they've been allowing the bigger name media companies to ask, like names. But as time goes on, the more media calls I'm on and the more established the brand is, the more we start working our way up. So, for example, I was able to ask Danny Jacobs and Golovkin questions, on the media call. What place you in? What you mean what place you in? How do I know that, Kevin Herrera? What place you in? How do I know that? You mean place on the call? How do I know that? Come on, bro. Use common sense. How do I know what place I'm in on the call? You don't know You don't know how many people on these media calls. So how many people got to ask questions? About maybe 5, 6 people got to ask questions. There may be 100 people waiting to ask questions. You see what I'm saying? So they may say like, oh, who's this Fight View 360? Let's put them down here because we know this brand is above them. That's how it works. You know, so I thought that, like, put it this way, if this call was longer, this call was actually short. It started at what, 205, 210, and now it's 249 and 250. We already been off the call for about 5 to 10 minutes already. So this call was relatively short. You know, so I'm not concerned, I'm not upset. So they just choose to do, yeah, they just choose, yeah. It's no, put it this way, it's no like set order. It's not like you sit there and like, okay, let me push such and such first so I can be first in line. You know, exactly. It's about how relevant you are, exactly. You know, so like I said, like somebody would lose their job if somebody like Dan Rayfield didn't get his questions in, because that's ESPN. You see what I'm saying? They got to go with the ESPNs and the boxing scenes and all those people first. They got to, you know, they got to. But what we got from the call is that Shawn Porter is planning to box, you know, Andre Berto. And I'm thinking, like, what sense does that make? You know, Andre Berto seems to understand that this may be the last shot he may be getting, because it's still a lot of people who don't understand how the fact that he fought over a year ago, right? By the time he steps into the ring against Shawn Porter, it'll be over a year since he's fought. So a lot of people are wondering, how is he getting a #1 contender title shot? And the same thing with Shawn Porter. Both of these guys haven't fought in a year, and they're both getting a title shot. You know, Shawn Porter lost his last fight when he fought Keith Thurman. He's getting the title shot. Yeah, I'm not saying no. You know, Peter Washington says real fans probably wouldn't care if Dan Rayfield got skipped, but it don't work like that. Whatever you think about Dan Rayfield or not, he's ESPN boxing. You see what I'm saying? You know, so he's got to he's got to get his questions. You know, Porter can't smother his work, but that's true. But okay, say for example, right? If Shawn Porter fights the same fight that he fought against Keith Thurman, the same exact fight, don't you think he would win or maybe knock out Shawn Porter? I mean, knock out Andre Berto, because Andre Berto is not Keith Thurman. You know. So another question I was going to ask, here it is. You were aggressive in defeat, but yet it was erratic. Do you seem? No, wait. What is it saying? You were aggressive, but in defeat. It didn't seem like effective aggression, and you were very erratic. Is that something you feel? And I didn't finish the question. I didn't finish writing it down. But basically, I would have, you know, I would have ad-libbed. You know, I would have added some shit. Because that's true. When he fought Keith Thurman, just like PD said, when he fought Keith Thurman. Oh, by the way, RIP Charlie Murphy. That was fucked up to hear that news. When he fought Keith Thurman, that shit wasn't effective. You know, he was smothering the shit out of his punches, but yet he was aggressive. Yeah, he got Berto did get dropped in the second in the second Victor Ortiz fight. I gotta take a piss. That's why I'm moving around. I gotta take a piss. So we're gonna try to hold it. You know, we're gonna try to hold it. You know, so that's the question I was you know, like really wondering about. You know, it just don't make no sense. Why are you gonna try to box it? But don't be surprised if Andre Berto gets knocked down multiple times. I would be surprised if Andre Berto don't go down at least once. Remember, he is 4-4 in his last 8 fights. You know, for example, let's go through it, right? He's had problems with pressure fighters, as we know of. Remember, a lot of people feel he should have lost that Luis Collazo fight. Victor Ortiz, that was a Fight of the Year candidate. Then he fought Jan Zivek. Jan Zivek was giving him a little bit of problems before he got stopped. He was the eye, if I remember. Robert Guerrero, a smaller fighter who had moved up and bullied him. Jesus Soto Carras, he said he was injured still. Soto Carras got the win. He fought Steve Upser Chambers in a comeback fight, right? That was over a year later after he fought Soto Carras. And remember, he got popped for those PEDs. Then he fought Jose Zito Lopez. On the judges' scorecards, when he fought Jose Zito Lopez, One judge, Tom Taylor, had Lopez up 45-50. Another judge, 48-47. That was for Berto. And the other judge, 47-48 for Lopez. And if you remember that fight, I remember covering that fight. That fight was somewhat of a premature stoppage. But then guess what? 6 months later, Andre Berto goes on to fight Floyd Mayweather. And of course, he gets schooled, you know. Then he fights, what, 5 months later in a heavily anticipated rematch that should have been happened against Victor Ortiz in a fight where he went down in round 2. And then he knocked Victor Ortiz down and pretty much just took his soul. So now he's fighting, you know, in an eliminator. You know, this is just clearly Al Heyman taking care of him. It's like Al Heyman got him that Mayweather fight he didn't deserve. This is clearly Al Heyman saying, "Oh, Berto, I got you. I'm gonna hook you up, bro." You know? Yeah, Berto has suffered some bad beatings, but at the same time, you got to give him credit because he's always in exciting fights. You know, and Berto's always making some money. Berto got the harvest. Remember that shit? The harvest? You know, when he kept, you know, when he was posting all stuff on social media before the Mayweather fight, before it was even announced, and he kept saying the harvest is coming. Oh, he got that harvest. He got that payday he didn't deserve. Bobby Tsunami says, but Berto was just a level below the top 147. Yeah, he is that level below. Let's put it this way. Honestly, do you consider Shawn Porter to be a level above Andre Berto? I think so. I think Berto is on that level of 147 pounders. You know, I'm trying to figure out who can I put him on a level with. We know that he's under the Garcias and he's under the Thurmans. You know, he's right there teetering along with, like, you know, like the Adrian Broners and shit. Devin London. Yeah, let me ask you a question, Devin London. I was being rude earlier, but, you know, I was on a call. All right, this is my first time on here, bro. I didn't even know what was happening, but I won't do it again. You seem tense. You all right? No, I'm cool. I'm cool. It's just that, like, it's a media call. And remember, I can't hear how the audio sounds to you guys. So you was asking me questions. I couldn't answer the question. You see what I'm saying? And also, yeah, I'm a little irritable. I'm not getting enough sex, you know? Not no sex at all, actually. You know, and then putting out all these videos, working. Al Heyman loved Berto, though he might be his son-in-law. Yeah, okay. Al Heyman is very close with Floyd Mayweather, Leo Santa Cruz, and Andre Berto. Those are the ones I know for sure, you know, that he's really, really, really close with. And Chad Dawson. And Paul Williams. Porter lying. You mean he lying about trying to, you know, try to box him, I guess? Yo, you know, Canelo official said he moved up to 160. Yeah, I was on the call yesterday. You think the WBA will order the Cotto fight for the vacant belt? Yeah, yes, they will. Yes, they will. You know, so which means Canelo's going to vacate because and say he's going to stay at 160, and the WBO is going to order Cotto to fight for that belt, and it might be against Yoshihiro Kamagata on regular HBO. Now, I understand what a lot of you are thinking. Well, what about that $15 million from Rock Nation? Something happened where they're going to allow Cotto to fight on HBO for like maybe $1.5 or $2 million or something like that. And then he's going to get that $15 million payday, or supposed to, against Juan Manuel Marquez sometime in the winter. Juan Manuel Marquez is also having some financial issues, which is another reason why he has to come back, because he got robbed out of like $2.3 million or some shit from Chase, allegedly, some shit, you know. Cotto fight not on pay-per-view. Please, no. The Cotto next fight will likely be on regular HBO against Yoshihiro Kamagata. They want to do it in June, and it could very well be for that WBO title. You know, but it's all about what Juan Manuel Marquez wants to do in the fall or the winter. What does Berto win do for Porter, T? Well, we'll put it this way. In my opinion, Shawn Porter should be the favorite to win. He should win. If Shawn Porter loses to Berto, it's not a good look. You know, because now he's going to be looked at as that pressure fighter that can't get over the hump. You see what I'm saying? And then people are going to say, oh, he should get rid of his trainer, or he should his father, or he should move to 154. What does a win do for either? I mean, it's like this. Like put it this way, like we talked about. Like, do y'all really care about this fight? We're going to watch it because it's like, oh, shit, it's Berto versus Porter. I'm going to be there. Don't count me. I got to watch the fight. But really, it's like one of those fights that it's not really, you know, like a superstar fight. But at the same time, it is one of those fights where it means something, because the winner gets, you know, Thurman versus Garcia 2 if that fight does happen. You know, that's pretty much all it means. But for both of these fighters who lose, for example, if Berto loses, he'll be 4-5 in his last 8 fights. I mean, 9 fights. 4 wins, 5 losses. And those losses will come to Victor Ortiz, right? Victor Ortiz, Robert Guerrero, Jesus Soto Carras, Floyd Mayweather, and then Shawn Porter. So which means his only wins would be against Victor Ortiz, who we can't mean Victor Ortiz is, you know, Jose Tito Lopez, which is a controversial stoppage, Stephen Upshur Chambers, and Jan Zavek. You know, so that would be devastating to Andre Berto, who is going to be 34 at the end of this year. It's not saying you can't put him in big fights or get him big money fights, but it's like, you know, his career is going to be, you know, tarnished. Whereas in Shawn Porter, his only 2 defeats were close fights. That fight he lost to Kell Brook. Kell Brook won the fight, but it was a close fight. The fight he lost to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman clearly won the fight, but it was a close fight, and it was a very entertaining and highly ranked fight. So a loss of Andre Berto would hurt Shawn Porter much more than if Shawn Porter beats, you know, Berto. You know, just my opinion. You know, but we got to wrap this up because the Ward Kovalev 2 final press tour press conference is going on in LA right now. So I got to coordinate that shit and you know, get ready to edit videos and all kind of stuff like that. You know, so I can't stay on here long. But what we're going to do is, you know, as you can see, I've been pumping out a lot of videos. I think we're like, it's Wednesday, so I think we're like at like 30 videos or something I've done since Monday, or put out since Monday. I've put out like 10 or about 10 or so, like videos with me talking boxing, and like the other ones, you know, it's like content, you know. So we are going to, and I'm going to be at Berto versus Porter next week. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this stream. I'm going to put out some more videos, and then since the press tour is finally over, later on tonight we'll likely do a live stream for Ward versus Kovalev, so we can talk about all the events of the week, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And what's next for DSG? Him and Thurman are supposed to be in negotiations for a rematch. Believe it or not. You know, that's another situation where it's like Al Heyman taking care of it. Real quick, do you think Kovalev is mentally shook? No, he's not mentally shook. He's very, listen, Kovalev is pissed off about something. You know, he's pissed. He's not, that's what I want to talk, that's what we're going to talk about in my in my stream later about the fight. He is not, it's like this. Andre Ward's not afraid of him. He's not afraid of Andre Ward. Andre Ward has felt his power, you know, so Andre Ward is on some confidence shit, you know, like thinking like, oh yeah, well, you know, I can just outbox you. I'm gonna fight you different than I did the last time. And also Virgil Hunter pointed out something very, very, 2 things that are very important, is that Andre Ward wasn't able to run, you know, or do, you know, much cardio for the last fight. And also the rumors of Kovalev being an alcoholic, which I've been hearing for a long time now, you know? So he's not just saying that to be racist or to hate. No, those are the rumors out there, you know? So Kovalev is not afraid of Andre Ward. Like being there with him, he's just put it this way. He was acting like a real asshole at that press conference, you know, the one I was at, it was that Monday. He's just real irritable right now. And then remember, they're flying all over the place and everything, you know, it's a lot of shit going on. You know, so I don't think that he's not afraid of him. I think Kovalev was on some shit like, yo, I can't wait to get you in the ring. Yeah, will he win? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of people want to say that these boxers be afraid of each other. You know, no, they don't. Kovalev is a confirmed racist. Nah, he can't be a confirmed racist when you work with so many black people. I don't think that nobody in boxing, I'm talking about boxers, are actual genuine racists. You may say racially insensitive shit, and you may, you know, I'm not even feeding into that. You know, I'm not even feeding into that, you know, of these racists. That shit with the monkeys and all that shit with the Adonis Stevenson, that was racist. But is he a racist? Come on. Come on. These boxers don't be racist. No, he was more than a little irritable. Like, there's one time, I didn't upload the video. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I got the camera, like, right there. It's not all, I'm not the type of person that's going to be putting the camera, like, all in your face and shit. But he tried to, like, smack my camera out the way. You know, because the light was too bright. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, you hung over or some shit. You know? So, like I said, it's like, you know, like it's not a situation where I don't be around the boxers. You know, I be around them now. Like, I be watching their mannerisms and everything. The man went on radio shows in Russia saying N-bombs all over the place. But that doesn't mean anything, though. It's like this. Like, you know, I don't even know why I'm feeding into this, man. I don't even know why I'm feeding into this. In boxing, boxers can't be racist. You know how many black boxers and trainers and people in the team and all that shit that Kovalev has worked with, or boxers in general have worked with throughout their come up? Throughout their come up? You know, I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about throughout their come up. You can't be racist. Boxers can't be racist. You know, if they are racist, nobody's going to want to spar with you or work with you or anything. You know, Virgil Hunter wouldn't say shit like, you know, yeah, I am a fan of him. You know, so it's like this. You know, y'all motherfuckers be too quick to throw around the race card, yo, but you don't think like behind like the scenes type shit. I would believe more that executives or managers or promoters are racist, you know, than the fighters, them actual selves. Yeah, of course you're going to be a low-key racist. Of course you're going to be a low-key racist. Of course you can. But you got to understand like how boxers work. Y'all think that these boxers just with white people or people of their own race all the time? It don't be like that. For example, Bernard Hopkins said racist shit all the time. I never lose to a white boy. But is he racist? When he be with all these executives? I went to Bernard Hopkins' 50th birthday party in the Parks Casino Resort. And he was surrounded by nothing but like executives of all kind of different shit, white men. Do you think they'd be like, oh, he's racist? He said he'll never lose to a white boy. Yo, it's certain ways you got to think about this shit. So, of course, you could be racially sensitive, or in your mind, you could be like, oh, I don't like niggers. But in this business, you can't be racist. You can't. You work with too many different races coming through the amateurs. His coach is black. I agree. DXTR Spitz says Kovalev isn't racist. He's just a dick. Yeah. So I would be. I feel like that the same way. For example, what was that last racist shit that came up? Oh, Angel Garcia. I don't feel Angel Garcia is racist. He just be on some dickhead shit. He's just racially insensitive like a motherfucker. And plus, with that culture barrier, you know, sometimes he don't be knowing what the fuck to say. For example, he told Clarissa Shields that, you know, a woman shouldn't be fighting. They should be in the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just motherfuckers should be on some shit. But I seriously, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for this press conference. I'm to watch it and shit like that, recording. Yeah, Angel Garcia is not racist. He's just some hood nigga. There's no better way to put it. Especially me growing up in Philly and knowing the hood that he's from. Like knowing the hood that he's from, you can't be racist where Angel Garcia from. You can't, because motherfuckers will chop his fucking head off. Because Ricans and blacks are in a mixed area, and they all call each other nigga. Just like, yo, I got some Rican homies that I grew up with. I'm like, yo, what's up, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? So it's not like so when he was calling Keith Thurman a bitch ass nigga, it wasn't like, you know, motherfuckers was doing. They was putting that ER on it. They was like he's calling Keith Thurman a bitch ass nigger. Nah, but anyway, this is too controversial. Let's save this for another video. All right, I done dropped too many N-bombs today between this video and the Adrian Broner, Javonte Davis video. I didn't met my N-bomb quota. TstreeT Controversy Live.